Editor Andrew Clennell now. And Andrew, a big day in Canberra, quite a momentous news conference held by the Prime Minister earlier.
Which you attended. You were at the People's Forum in New South Wales last night, then at that big presser today, big 24 hours for you, Kieran. The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese broke down as he announced the wording for the Voice referendum this morning.
This moment has been a very long time in the making, yet they have shown such patience and optimism through this process. And that spirit of cooperation and thoughtful, respectful dialogue has been so important at arriving at this point in such a united fashion. Are there any circumstances in which this will not be put to a vote? The answer to that is no. Because to not put this to a vote to not put this to a vote is to concede defeat. You only win when you run on the field and engage. And let me tell you, my government is engaged.
Historic stuff. Later, the PM explained why he was so emotional.
Why is this such an emotional day, announcing these words?
It's a big deal. It's about justice. I grew up, and I'd ask anyone else to add, but I grew up, including with a little kid at my primary school who was an Aboriginal Australian who didn't talk about it. I'm not sure about what all their circumstances were. We didn't acknowledge country. Now we do, and we're richer for it. And we feel, certainly I feel, as the Prime Minister, an incredible responsibility to make a difference.
It reminded me a bit of this moment involving the former PM Kevin Rudd talking about the apology to the stolen generation when he was ousted as leader.
That was a big day. What I remember most about it, for those of you who weren't here, was as the stolen generations came in from over there, they were frightened. Our job was to make them welcome.
Well, this moment today is also a moment that will play for years. And Anthony Albanese admitted there were risks involved in pushing forward with this referendum, but he does believe this referendum will be successful.
It is a risk, having a referendum. They usually don't succeed. I began my Prime Ministership with a declaration about a referendum. I knew what I was doing. I knew the weight that was there, and I knew how that would be received by people on this occasion who are sharing this day with us. But I also knew I had my party completely behind me. I'm not here to occupy the space, to change who's in the white car. I'm here to change the country.
And when I interviewed Anthony Albanese at the Lodge in January, I spoke to him about what it would mean for his Prime Ministership were this referendum to fail. But if you put this up and it fails, doesn't that set back reconciliation? I mean, it's a pivotal... It would also weaken your Prime Ministership, surely.
It's not about me.
People are concerned that if it fails, it will set back the cause of reconciliation. What do you think?
Well, quite clearly, if it is not successful, then that will be difficult.
So here's the question that's going to be put. A proposed law to alter the Constitution and recognise the First Peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. Do you approve this proposed alteration? Now, I have been told that there was a slight change in the wording to the proposed change to the Constitution involved in this, But reports that ministers were advised to have ministers of the Crown as the phrase in there rather than executive government have been denied to me. So it was always the government's intention to have the words executive government in it, but extra words, I believe, were added in the cabinet process yesterday. There were discussions about a form of wording which might bring on a scare campaign. It kind of looks like that's happened, but he's all in on this, the PM. The PM says he's all in. You talk about the Uluru Statement from the Heart. We know after today, if this doesn't get up, it will break the Prime Minister's heart, Kieran.